Okay, so today the digital resource that I would like to show you, and one that I use quite a bit when either working with students or working with teachers in professional development opportunities, is the number rack by the Math Learning Center. And you can find this at www.mathlearningcenter.org. And the reason that I like using this is because when you're working with really kindergarten through second grade students, you are going to be working with base 10 and making 10. And this is a great tool to allow students to visualize and subitize the number 10. So when you're looking at this website, it allows you to add different racks. And it does go all the way up to 120, depending on what grade level and what number you're working with. Will depend on how many racks you need. And once you get to a certain amount, it also allows you to change the position of the beads. So if you want them to all be the same, with the red on the left and the white on the right, all the way down, you can keep it that way. Or if you want students to see some sort of pattern, you can switch the bead position. And after 5 rows, it will switch to show the different patterns that students may be able to recognize when they are counting in those higher numbers. If you want to delete rows, you just click the minus tab and it will bring you all the way back to 1. When moving these over, you may be counting one at a time with the younger students. You can just move one at a time. If you want to move groups, you can move an entire group over as well. You can also move the entire group back from side to side. 6 on one side, 4 on the other. Another useful tool is the show or hide shade. And this allows you to work with finding missing numbers with students. The students, knowing that there are 10 on each row, can determine how many are missing. If they can see here that this is 5 and this is 2, I know that that's 7. If there's 10 on the row, I know that there are 3 missing. So this leads well to kind of early algebra, allowing students to find those missing numbers, even adding variables in the older grade levels. You can make the shade bigger if needed. So if you wanted to hide more numbers or beads, you can do that. Make it a rectangle. You can even make it smaller. If you wanted to hide only a certain amount. So that's a great tool for working with students on missing numbers. You could work with word problems as well. It also has a feature to add a math expression. So if I wanted to add a number sentence that went along with this number rack, I could write in 7 plus 3 equals 10. It does allow you to change the color. You can do one for each rack and make each rack a different color. It's a great feature to get students used to number sentences, and they could even copy and write down what you're doing as well. Or if you're doing a guided practice or group discussion, students can tell you what the number sentence is and you write it in as well. If you're wanting to start over and get rid of the number sentence, you can simply hit the delete selected items, and whatever you've selected, it will delete from the screen. If you want to get rid of the shade, just hit the button down here and it will delete that as well. Another tool is the draw. It does have a drawing tool, and it allows you to draw freehand pen. It has a straight line pen, and then of course you can change the color of the pen. So if you didn't want to use red, you could use blue or orange or green. It does also have an erase tab. This one is to erase certain parts that you have drawn. This is to erase everything that's on the board that was used with the drawing tool, so it will clear the entire drawing board. So if I wanted to use the drawing tool, I could circle groups of the Raczk. I want to show students that this is 7 and this is 3. Drawing up here, 7 plus 3 equals 10. There are many different ways that you can use a drawing tool, showing them different groupings. If you had more than one rack, keep wanting to say Raczk. If you have more than one, and before you can move beads over, you do need to get rid of the drawing toolbar, and then it will allow you to move them again. If you want to show students combinations between the two racks, if you have more than one, you can show groupings of 10 this way, clearing the drawing once you're done, clearing the toolbar, and I'm going to go back to just one row. And the last thing I wanted to point out is that it does kind of go over, if you're interested in looking at it further, it does go into how to use the number rack or Raczk. Basically goes over all of the tools and things that I addressed today. And that is the number rack by the Math Learning Center. I really enjoy using this with students, even allowing students to come up and work on it in front of the class. Students always enjoy that as well. I have used this with teachers in professional development, having them come up and work with this. They enjoy using this as a visual for their students, and it can be displayed up on the screen while students have their own, or they can be copying what the teacher is doing on the board as well. And again, this is a great tool to use with students when they are building that foundation of base 10 and making tens with numbers and getting them to subitize those foundational numbers of 5.